Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Yep. All right. Whoa, holy honkers. Holy honkers, Batman. You think Robin's ever actually said that? Like, ever? Probably not. But man, if I ever wrote a Batman and Robin comic, I would definitely have Robin say that. DJ Hot Tub, hi. Whoa, thanks, Blondie. Thank you for that. I'm sending out my shit here. All right, thank you. Thank you, Hot Tub. We're just getting started. Got 10, 12 people in here so far. Make sure you guys are sharing out the live. Get some more people in here. We can have some more conversations. More conversations. We haven't started yet. Yeah, early engagement really helps push me out to the FYP, so thanks for the heart me's. That really helps. These taps are really helping. Spam the shares. Yeah. So we can get some guests. No, not the Van Club stuff broken on your iPad. That just means you need to... That means you need to get on your phone. Or just buy a new iPad. Hey, both sides in. Hi. So this is hell yes? Hell yes. I don't know. iOS bug maybe, I don't know. I know that iOS is very like weird how it's different. It's got its own shit going on versus other software. You don't know whether you're in hell or not? That depends on what you mean. I don't think I'm in hell. Bring up our first guest.
Hello.
Hey, hi Elmar, you at least 18?
No, I'm not, but
You
I
gotta be an adult to talk to me, guys. Hey, sacrificial lamb. Yeah, you gotta be an adult. I don't talk to minors. We don't do that here. Even if I wanted to, it's just TOS. Nah, man. Nah. I only talk to adults. But thanks for answering honestly. I appreciate that. Some people try to pull one over on me. Thank you guys for joining. I'm appreciating everybody coming in here. Why are you not wearing your Secret Society yarmulke? It's in the wash. Or wait, maybe I shouldn't say something like that because I don't know if that's a thing. I thought you were making things up. If that's a thing, I don't actually have one of those. If that's something I'm not supposed to have. Anti-spiritual pro-Satan spin for a profit motive. Pray your right, atheist. For profit. You think I make profit? I mean, I do make a little bit of money. Yeah, Henrique, you can request up and come and speak, and we can talk about it. I don't have anybody requesting right now. Well, let me check. Okay, yeah, we got Henrique. Hey, Enrique, at least 18.
Yeah, I'm 24. How you doing, man?
I'm great, thank you. What God do you believe in?
I believe in God, Jesus Christ. That's the only God I believe in.
Okay.
I also want to make it clear that I'm not here to change your mind or anything. I'm just here so I guess I can understand your thoughts on why is it that you say God is evil. That's all.
Yeah, so the Christian God, it's pretty easy to like make that case. I mean, you just read the Bible and he does so many horrible things. Like he kills innocent people, he uses rape as punishment, he uses cannibalism as punishment, he gaslights people into like worshiping him by giving them a false dichotomy with the gospel. The gospel message is horrendous too. I mean, there's so many problems with his character.
Have you read the full Bible beginning to the end, both Old and New Testament? And reason why I ask is because I've noticed through my own experience that a lot of people who are quick to have a negative opinion, not that I mind correcting anybody, they never really take the time to read the Bible and understand it. Most
Hmm.
people have just heard things from other people, like me, for example, as a kid growing up, I went to church, obviously. Why? Because my dad and mom, they made me go to church, even though I didn't want to go to church. But as I got older, I decided, you know what? I'm going to get to read
You
the
went for
Bible for
yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I mean,
decided.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you get where I'm coming
this
from,
would be
right?
a really like easy thing for me to lie about, but I tried to read it all the way through when I was still a Christian. It's just so boring when they get to this parts where they're just listing stuff, you know? Um, but the thing is, I think that when it's talking about God doing genocides and stuff, I mean, I don't know what I could possibly read in the rest of the Bible that would make me be like, oh, that explains why that's okay. You know, I mean, you can't really make a case for it.
Okay, so mind giving me a couple of examples?
Let me get my Bible. Let's check this out here. So,
Yeah, but like I said, man, I'm not here to change your mind or anything. I just want to understand you and where you're coming from. That's all.
yeah, sure, yeah. Well, there's a few. Okay, so there's a few we could try. Why don't we start over here? Now you do think that it would be bad if somebody were to use the rape of somebody else as punishment. Like if I did something wrong, do you think that like a fitting punishment would ever be to like have my wife raped or something?
No.
Yeah, like that would be really fucked up. And if you had like killed my kid because I did something wrong, that wouldn't be fair, that wouldn't be just. That would be pretty fucked up, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So in Second Samuel chapter 12, God does this with David. So David sins against the Lord. He does something bad. And it says, thus says the Lord, I will raise up trouble against you from within your own house, and I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight. For you did it secretly, but I will do this before all Israel in broad daylight. Then later on it says, nevertheless, because by this deed you have utterly scorned the Lord, the child born to you shall die. So that's exactly what we both just agreed would be egregious.
Awesome. So let me ask you this, right? What sin did David committed? And if you don't mind, also go ahead and read that out loud for all of us to listen to it.
Yeah, he like sleeps with another guy's wife and
Yeah,
has the guy
if you don't
killed.
mind if you don't mind reading it for us. Because I also another thing I noticed is
What is that? What difference does it make? I can read it, but
it,
like,
it
what
does
difference
make
does
it does make a difference because
How does it make a difference?
here's the thing.
Do you
Because
think
I
that makes
mean,
it? Wait. Do you think that makes it
no, no,
okay?
no. Here's the thing, man. I heard your side, right? And
Uh-huh.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying, right? But if you also don't mind reading what exactly is it that David did and why is it that that was the punishment? If you don't mind reading it for us,
Where
because
should
I
I
heard your
start?
side.
Where should I start?
Huh? No,
Where should I
start at the
start?
very beginning. Start at the very beginning. Because you
Of
started at the
chapter
very
12?
beginning. Uh, whichever chapter is it? I'm not gonna sit here and
I'm in
pretend like I
chapter
know.
12.
Yeah.
I'll read it, but this is going to be a waste of time. But I'll read it. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord, and the Lord said to Nathan to David, he came to him and said to him, there were two men in a certain city, one rich and the other poor. The rich man had very many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing but the little ewe lamb that he had bought. He brought it up and grew it up and with his children, and used it to eat of the meager fare, to drink from the. He's just talking about some fare. Hang on, to get to the
I
relevant
think it
part of it.
starts way before that.
Then David's anger was greatly
But
kindled
not.
against.
It starts way before that, actually, man.
As the Lord lives. Then David's anger was greatly kindled against the man. He said to Nathan, as the Lord lives, the man who had done this deserves to die. He shall restore the lamb for the. Then Nathan said to David, "You are." Nathan said to David, "You are the man." Thus, oh yeah, he's given like a. I forget. He's given like an allegory something here. That's what it is. Yeah. Nathan's like, yeah, this is okay. Yeah. Nathan says, "You are the man. Thus says the Lord, God of Israel. I anointed you king over Israel, and I, excuse me, I rescued you from the hand of Saul. I gave you your master's house and your master's wives into your bosom, and gave you the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would have added much more. Why have you despised the word of the Lord to do what is evil in his sight? You have struck down Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and have taken his wife to be your wife, and have killed him with the sword of the Ammonites. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house, for you have despised me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife." Then it gets into the part where I started reading. "Thus says the Lord, I will raise up trouble against within your own house, and I will take your wives from before your eyes, and give them to your neighbor. He shall lie with your wives in broad daylight, for you have done it secretly. I will do this thing in daylight." Yeah, now this in no way justifies it. The wives
Actions,
had nothing.
consequences. It starts way
okay,
before that.
Let me ask you this. What did the wives do to deserve to get raped?
Actions, consequences, man. And like I
No,
said,
that's not my
the
question.
verse that you just read,
What did the wives do to deserve to be raped as a punishment for David's action? David's the one who committed the sin, right?
what is it that the wives did? Give me
Nothing.
1 second. I'm trying to. Yeah,
They
no.
did
I'm trying to
nothing.
find the. Hold on. Let me find the right word for it.
David is the one who committed the sin. Like, David did something fucked up, I agree. But his wives had nothing to do with it, and his child had nothing to do with it. You don't punish other people for the sins of an individual. If I did something wrong, it doesn't matter how egregious it is. Whether I like killed or whatever, like if I stole, you wouldn't do anything, soft or hard, to somebody else, my wife or my children. They would be uninvolved. Especially something as egregious as rape and death. to the other people around him. It's so obviously evil and wicked, backwards.
Well, I guess for starters, you gotta start by understanding that a husband and a wife are one person in the eyes of God. They're not
Then God's
two.
stupid. I could have that as a prompt too.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
if God thinks we're the
like,
same
hey,
person, where he's
like I
just an
said, man,
idiot.
like I said, man, that's what you believe in. That's cool. It's not my job to change your thoughts or the way you think, you know.
Maybe you should
But like I
reconsider.
said,
Like, I think that you don't give your God enough credit. Like, you think that he thinks that me and my wife are the same person. Like, if I did something, he'd be like, well, I can punish Lobes by having his wife raped, and that would fix everything. I mean, he's either an idiot or he's sadistic, or maybe he's both. But I think it's all right because he's
not
not real.
not really, man. Right now, you as the man in your house, you're the head of the household in your place, right?
Well, we had to move in with the in-laws, unfortunately. But
Okay, but
yeah,
you're still the head of your household, right?
I mean, like, it's
Or
a team
is the
effort.
in-laws? I get the team effort part.
I
You
don't
know, like
consider myself to be, I mean, I don't consider myself to be the head of the household.
obviously your wife is your helpmate. She helps you in the areas where you need help. But just like me and my wife here at home, even though I'm 24, I'm married. I go out, I work, I provide, and I do whatever that needs to be done. To provide as a man, and she stays at home. She takes care of everything, whatever she needs financially. I take care of it on her end. She cooks for me, which is in a sense helping me because I gotta wake up the next day and go to work in the morning. And if I don't got energy, I
I
won't be
mean,
able
that
to do that.
sounds like a good,
So
nice
that,
dynamic,
yeah,
like that
that's kind of
sounds
where I'm
fine.
coming from. Like you're still
Right.
the head of the household at your place, right?
I mean, I wouldn't call myself the head of the household. I think that's coming from like a patriarchal place. I wouldn't put it that way. But this is kind of irrelevant though. Like if I'm whether or not I'm the head of the household, like if we're like we could be a team, we could be a unit, but we're not the same person. If I commit a crime, it's never ever 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 just for her to have to pay the penalty, especially if it's something like if I killed somebody, then she gets raped for it. That's absolutely ass
Who
backwards.
has
I
the
mean,
who has
if you did what David did, and your wife
who,
was raped as a result, and your child was killed, you would have a huge problem with that, and you would be rightfully, you would be justified in having a problem with that because it's fucked up.
who okay, let me rephrase my question, right? Because what I'm asking you has everything to do with what I'm about to say next. Who has the final say in your household? That's basically what I'm asking you. Yes, it's a team effort, but someone has the final say. There is a leader, there is the head of the household.
No, nobody has a final say. That's just like saying, you have an authority over the other person ultimately.
Yes, you do have
Yeah,
authority.
no,
Yes, I know.
no way.
Listen. I
No,
know in
absolutely
today's
not. I
generation,
mean,
I know in today's,
we respect each other's boundaries. If there's something that's like, I will, like, I'm going to put my foot down and just, I will not go through with this decision. Each of us has to respect that. Like, if she says we're not doing this, and I say yes, we are, I have the final say. We don't go through with it, because
no,
we are
I
not in
understand.
conjunction. We're at a
I
stalemate.
understand the respecting boundaries part, but what I'm asking you is whether you as a man are the head
I'm still
of
failing to see the
the
relevance
household
too.
because every decision that you make as a man in your family
Let's just say I
carries.
want to see where this goes. So, like, let's just say that I'm the head of the household and I have the final say. For example, let's just say I do. Um, why would that make the punishment
My point
that God
is
gave
my
to
point
David
is and
and his son just?
my point is, and I'm not trying to really take it too far. My point is that every decision that you make as a man, as the head of the household, especially if you're married and you have a wife, always carry consequences. And those consequences are not only going to affect you, but are also going to affect those who follow you.
The only reason the
That's
only
basically
reason
what.
why David's actions affected his family is because God decided it would affect his family. God dished out a deliberate punishment to his wives and used rape as the punishment, by the way, which is already, even if it was them who fucked up, you don't use rape as punishment. That's cruel. And not to mention, his son. He used the death penalty on his son, who was completely removed from it. It says that the Lord struck him with a deadly illness, and he suffered for a fucking week before he finally died. I mean, this is sadistic and
Shit,
unjust.
actions have consequences, bro.
It does not have consequences. God did not need to do that. God could have punished
Action,
David. Don't you think that if somebody commits a crime or a sin, that person should foot the bill for it?
yeah. If that person is all alone and doesn't have a wife or whatever, because like I said, as
Wait.
a
If they
man,
don't have a wife, so like if they have a wife, wait a minute. So if they have a
bro,
wife, then maybe their wife
my guy,
can
he
pay
says it,
for their
he says
crime.
it,
Are you
he
crazy?
says it, he says it clearly in the Bible. Once a man and a woman come
Yeah.
together, they become one. And not only that, like I said, you as a man, your actions carry consequences that can affect your
They don't need to
consequences
affect the wife. They don't need to affect the wife.
consequences
Do you
right
see like
now.
let me read this again
Right.
one more time for you. Okay? It says, "I will take your wives." So God is taking an action and give them to your neighbor. He shall lie with your wives in broad daylight, for you did it secretly, but I being God speaking, I will do this thing before all Israel in broad daylight. God is taking an action. God is doing something. This isn't just something that naturally follows. God said this would be an appropriate punishment. I'm going to punish your wives with fucking rape because you did something that displeased me. How do you not see how this is evil?
Well, it's not that I don't see how this is evil. It's just
So
that
we
I
agree.
also do realize that you're pretty much overlooking the sins that they also committed. That's pretty much what I'm telling you. And that's
Okay,
why when you
all right.
started, and
Enlighten
that's why
me.
when you started reading, and that's why
What
when you
kind of
started reading
sin?
chapter 12, I told you
Let
that
me ask you this. You
that's
said
not
I'm
where
not
the
looking at the
story
sins that
starts.
they also committed. So, what kind of sin could someone commit to deserve to be raped as a punishment?
It's
What's your
it's in the
opinion?
Bible, bro. It's in the Bible. Open it and read it, man. It's in the Bible.
Where
That's
should I
what you're
look?
not.
Where should I look? Where does it say um where you can earn rape as a punishment?
All right. Mind if I leave the app real quick and go open the Bible on my phone and
Yeah, this is
find
crazy,
it
by the
and read
way.
it out loud for you?
I mean, yeah, you can do that, but like if you find it, this is still crazy, and I would consider that to be like an
I mean,
absurdity.
cause,
Do you think that
cause
if the Bible says that rape is an appropriate punishment, that alone makes it an appropriate punishment?
my guy, you saying rape this, rape that doesn't change the fact that they committed a sin that you're not willing to go back and read for yourself, and the only thing you're focused on is the consequences of the actions and
Yeah,
decisions that they made.
right. Because there is
That's all
nothing.
you're worried about.
And that's because, Henrique, the thing is, there is literally nothing that anyone could ever do to deserve rape as a punishment for themselves, let alone anybody else.
My guy, people do all type of things in
You're
today's
doing
world,
rape
and
apologetics right now.
hold up, people do all type of things in this world that we live in, and they get death sentences, which is worse than rape.
Do you think
They literally
do you think
they
that
get death.
do their children
People
get the death
get death
sentences?
sentences. People get death sentences. They get put on electric chairs, and you think
No,
that's
so
worse.
rape would be a form of torture, right? It's a cruelty. Okay, I mean, say what you will about the death penalty, right? The ultimate idea is that we're removing somebody from society permanently, and that's just the method that people do. I don't really
And you
know
think
how I feel
and you
about
think
it.
rape is worse.
Uh, oh, um, I don't know, but yeah, rape would be a cruelty. Rape would be a torture. Also, nobody who's getting the death penalty is like getting
And
it
yeah,
because
I
their
get
dad
what.
did something wrong.
Well, at the end of the day, man, I see where you're coming from. But if you're gonna,
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah, see, yeah, this is the problem. Like when you're in a religion like Christianity, it makes you say absolutely absurd, ridiculous things. You end up doing rape apologetics on a public platform, which is not a good look. You start doing stuff like saying that children should die for the crimes of their parents. Um, Join Christianity to learn how to be absolutely absurd. But not everybody, I know, not every Christian is like that. But let's go ahead and bring up the next guest. Let's see what they have to
Yo,
say. Hey,
Lobes. Yo, what's
hey,
up,
Sack.
bro?
What's up,
Can you
Sack? How
show
are
me?
you?
Yeah, I'll become atheist if you could show me where the verse says that the woman will be raped. Can you show me that?
Oh, I literally just closed the Bible. Hang on.
Yeah.
Are you at least
Yeah.
18?
Yeah, I'm 18.
Okay. By the way, this would be a really terrible reason to become an atheist, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't say grape though, but go ahead,
Oh, it
read it.
doesn't need to. Like if you like force somebody to
Oh,
have sex with you, I mean that's called rape. Like you
does
don't need to
does
say
God
rape somebody.
say, uh-huh. Oh, I know, I understand. Does God say that the woman will sleep with other men?
I found it. So it says, "I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in broad daylight." So you did this thing secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel in broad daylight. So there is never any consent given. God simply takes them, gives them to them, and says, "This is what's going to happen."
Oh, so he gives the wives away, as in like physically. You truly believe that?
Oh, that's just what the book says. I don't think that
Wait,
God
Lobes,
actually
you
did
truly
anything.
believe? Oh, so you don't believe that the essence did something, correct?
The essence?
Yes, because God is spirit. Do you agree?
I don't know. I mean, like this is just what the book
Okay,
says. I don't
Lobes.
think God is real.
Okay. Oh, okay, Lobes. Granting the paradigm, since you're making the internal critique, nowhere does it say grape. So you're making a false claim. Not even the original Hebrew mentioned grape. It just
You don't need
mentions
to use the
lies.
word
But
rape. You don't need to use the word
okay,
rape for it
cool.
to be
But your
rape.
argument, I know. But your argument only stands because you said, "And I will take your wives and give them to your neighbors." So my
I
question
agree.
is,
It
since we,
stands.
okay, Lopes, hold on. Since we agree that God is a spirit or essence, do you think that the essence will play a physical thing in the world? Yes or no?
It seems that way because it says he's doing it. Like he's taking an action. He says,
So God could do
I know
something
it's really
illogical?
you got some nervous laughter going on. It says, "For you did
Nobody's
it
nervous.
secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel in broad daylight." So God is causing it somehow. He's putting himself in the causal chain so that these women will be raped. That's what God's doing. I don't know how he's interacting, how he's making it happen, but some way he's
Uh-huh.
causing this to happen.
Can he cause it by making the women fall in love with the men and sleep with the men? Yes or no?
I mean, I guess he could do that.
Okay, good. So if there's going to be a possibility for both sides, you have yet to give empirical evidence that suggests this is going to be grape.
Do you realize just how weak and silly this is? Well,
Lobes, give me the
maybe he
rebuttal.
made them fall in love and they were smitten. I mean, with the
No, I
love
even
potion,
said both.
you think he roofied them or something? This is a different issue. This is
Yeah,
insane.
Lobes, I even gave you the benefit of the doubt. I said both possibilities can be the true thing. Now you have to give empirical evidence that it suggests grape. Therefore, your argument doesn't work if you
It's
can't give empirical
obvious.
evidence.
It's obvious, man.
Lobes,
It's
obvious doesn't
literally
work. It doesn't
obvious.
follow.
It does
Okay,
follow. You were looking for any
go ahead.
possibility that it could maybe not be this thing, but it just follows, man. I mean, you're
I
doing a
even granted
semantic
your
argument.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Loves. I
you're
even
doing a
granted your
semantic argument.
possibility. Yeah, I could
A
give like the
possibility? Are you
reasonable
shitting me?
answer.
I think that like if you read this
Holy.
verse in this way and thought that, well, they must have like been coerced into falling in love, which is still fucked up, but like they coerced into falling in love and had sex with them that way. I think you would be reading that way into the text. There's nowhere near any inclination that that's the case. I mean, especially when you wouldn't need for them to fall in love anyway in order for them to have sex. In this culture, women
Cool.
wife is like another word for slave.
Okay. Okay. Do you want me to give you the rebuttal, or are you just gonna keep yapping because you're not giving a
I'm kind of in the
good
mood to
empirical
yap, but you can
evidence?
go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so right, your position stands that you're making the pre-assumption this is going to be great because it's going to be an action made from God. And I
Mhm.
even give you the benefit of the doubt. I said these two possibilities, my possibility and your possibility, can work. But we're going with yours since you made the literal statement that it's grape. You have yet to give me empirical evidence in the text that suggests grape. Can you do that?
It's literally the text. Like there is a much higher probability that that's what it's saying than
Bro,
this
are you
ludicrous thing you made
serious?
up. Yeah, you're talking about in the
Loves, are you
text.
serious?
Are
Yeah,
you
show me where it says
serious?
grape. Show me where it says grape. Because
We've
if
already been
not,
over this.
then
What are you doing?
we okay. Do you
Hello,
want to
can you
argue?
track a fucking
Yeah, I'm
conversation? We
tracking.
already been through
Yeah,
this. We've already
sure.
been
Okay.
through this. We've already
Do you want to
established
run
that the
your?
word isn't there. Why are you going back to the very beginning?
Yes, because you're
What the
misrepresenting
fuck?
our paradigm. Yeah, that's why I'm going back and
No,
forth. You're
you're
misrepresenting our
misrepresenting your
paradigm.
paradigm.
Show
You
me where
are
my church disagrees
insane
with
if
me.
you read this and think there's a higher chance that God gave him Cupid's arrow than
Yeah,
somehow coerced them into doing this.
Los, but you're making the internal critique, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so therefore, if you're making the internal critique on my paradigm, you would have to grant my conclusion. Are you a donut, or do you not know how that follows?
Oh man, now I kind of want a donut.
I know, bro. I know you do. You're making the internal critique, buddy. You're kind of bad at debating. Bro, this guy's a low tier. Somebody clip that. He's hella low tier.
Yeah, so you should get one too. I said it's beer time. Yeah, it's beer time.
I baked you, bro. I actually baked you. Can you send me that clip? Can you send me the clip where I baked you?
Bitch. What kind you get? Ooh, that shit looks good. Yeah, baby, yo. Bitch.
Oh yeah, it's definitely beer time after that. Yeah, thanks a lot. You come up, you make me want a donut, and then you just leave me hungry. All right, let's bring up another person. Hey Taylor.
Hello.
Hey, are you at least 18?
So, I have a neutral point about this,
Real quick,
right?
I just need your
so
age
I can
first.
argue for.
I just need your age
I'm
first.
19. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, yeah. What God do you believe in?
So, I believe in the Christ, right? The Lord and the
Okay.
Savior.
Sure.
So, I can argue both points for and against this. We can have a nice educational debate, or we can just go into a straight argument. You
Well-
know, I'd rather debate.
We don't have to like talk about the same thing I talked about with the last two guests.
Yeah, no, of course. I just want to argue what point is Satan better?
I mean, what does Satan even really do, right? Like, there's a lot of
I mean,
a lot
the
of
fact
material
that
on God, him doing all these atrocious things that I could point to, and I'm sure you're aware of all these. But I can only really think of one instance in the Bible where Satan even really does anything that I would consider evil, and it's like something that's sanctioned by
Right.
God.
Mhm. So you are aware the Bible has been misinterpreted by many people, right? And is a very genuinely man-made thing, right?
Not to like cut you off, but that just happens when he joins. So yeah, they said that the Bible has been reinterpreted and rewritten and stuff.
Yes, so it can't be a reliable source, correct? Can we both mutually agree on that?
I mean,
What do you mean by mistranslated?
Well,
Hold on.
let me just
Well,
respond real quick. So, like, a reliable source. I wouldn't say that the Bible's a reliable source, but if I'm doing an internal critique about the characters that are found within the book that I have, it's not.
mhm,
I consider this to be mythology, right? So I
mhm,
don't think that there's any true story about God, but like the book that I have here, the
mhm,
Bible as it is, that's what I'm critiquing.
mhm. So could then I also argue the physical point of the actual physical evidence of Jesus, as such as the nails, the robe, the place where we have like his tomb. So if you're not then gonna believe the Bible, right, and you're not gonna believe Jesus, so
Um,
what is that physical evidence that we have of him?
well, I don't know that you have that evidence, but even if you prove that Jesus existed, which I'm sort of agnostic to, Cyber's a mythicist, I believe. Like
Yeah,
if you
I don't
prove
believe
that
he
Jesus
existed.
existed, I mean that would just make me think that there was this historical guy that got mystified over time. Like he
Okay.
was they gave him magic powers and said that he had the power to have all the powers and he is his dad's son, but his dad is also him and all this crazy nonsense. And I was like, I'm thinking that part cannot make any sense.
Okay.
And
I
just real
mean,
quick too, you realize like there's 5 tombs that are claimed to be Jesus's, right? We have 3
It's like the
in
Garden Tomb and the
the
Sepulchre,
Tele tomb,
Sepulchre,
yeah,
mhm,
yeah.
the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
Yeah.
We got one in Japan. If you didn't know that, there's a tomb in Japan, and then there's another one in Afghanistan, I believe.
like I said, I'm open in the sense of I can see both sides. I'm gonna hold a neutral like point on this because that's what a debate is. You don't put bias into a debate. So I understand that and I completely get your points. I would just like to also go back to like the fact of it's said that people that worship Satan specifically like to do specific sacrifices. Now, I don't know if I can mention that due to TikTok rules. So I would like to just argue the point of you said about the Bible, right? And Satan hasn't really done much, but yet the people that worship Satan often do these inhumane things
What's that got to do with Satan? I
in
mean,
sacrifice.
God does inhumane sacrifices. God gave
Mhm,
like a blood sacrifice to atone for the world's sin. He sacrificed his son, had him killed,
mhm.
blood spilled. I'm like, that's like what I imagine
But
somebody
didn't
would say the Satanists would do.
okay, but didn't are we talking about Israel here? Are we talking about how he wiped Israel, or are we talking
I'm talking
about a
about in the
completely
gospel
different?
how Jesus
Okay,
being brutally murdered
Well,
was sufficient to cover sins of people.
right.
and
So,
I need to ask a question real quick though, because
mhm.
you're coming up. So, are you a Christian or are you not?
I mean, I would like to hold the values of a Christian in the sense of love one another, don't promote violence, and also like be the best version of yourself that you can in the
Well,
sense of
the reason why I ask is you come up and you're immediately like, we're just gonna not talk about the Bible because we can both agree it's had these mistranslations. And then as
Mhm.
soon as you receive like a little bit of pushback on something, it seems like you're just doing these wild pivots to like other topics.
Well, that is a valid point, and I do see that. I was just trying to move off of the points quickly and keep like rolling with the points, if that makes
Well,
sense. But I
we
get
should drill down on one. So we can talk about whatever you want to as long as it's relevant to the prompts, but we should try to
okay.
focus on one of them and really explore that. That's what I would like to do.
And I need you to like hold a stance. Like I'm not interested in doing like this wishy washy and like we start to make a point. You're like, well, I can hold that stance too. Like I'm just that debate's just not interesting.
I mean, it's fine if you concede. If we say something that like you find interesting, then you could like concede. I'm not saying that you need to like battle to the death or anything like that. But yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
just try to like, you know,
Okay, so I
Hold a
want to hone
stance.
in on a specific point in the Bible. Doesn't it say man should not lay with another man?
that in Romans? I think
Yes, I believe so.
the way he lies with a woman, for this is an
Mhm.
abomination. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe I've asked around to many people that I've asked that everyone interprets this differently. They should say man should not lay with boy or man should not lay with man. Now, what I want to know is if there is one true version of the Bible, why should we have to change it in order to like have these many versions of it?
Because
If that
people
makes
aren't
sense.
reading the original Hebrew.
Yeah, and they're also
Exactly.
taking their own values and
Okay.
projecting it onto the thing. Like, they might read that it says man, then hear that somebody said it's actually boy, and immediately just agree without doing any research. And I don't actually know what the correct answer is. I mean, if it's man,
It's man.
I believe it's man.
Yeah, it doesn't say boy in it.
I'm inclined to just agree naturally with the current result that we have, because we've had this thing translated multiple times and it keeps getting updated and updated by people who understand context and who understand the languages that are being used. So I'm inclined to trust the experts in translating the Bible over myself, who cannot read Hebrew or Greek or anything of the sort.
Yeah, so the scripture in question right now is Leviticus 18:22, and what it says in the Hebrew is Ve'et zakar lo tikov mishkaveh isha toavev hai. So zakar is man in Hebrew, literally translated is like a man, and then ish or isha is male, right? So, sorry, Zakar. Sorry, I got those mixed up. Zakar is male. Isha is man. I got those mixed up. So it's really there's no boy in here. If it was boy, we'd see like Ben, Bene, something like that, and we don't see these. So it's man. Sorry, yeah. A man shall not lie with a male. And so anytime you see boy in there, that's them trying to throw in like something in there. It's an apologetic thing in there. But what they mean like with this though is what people don't realize is that this isn't talking about like homosexuality. It gets read to mean homosexuality, but what it means is in this time period in the Near East, gender roles were important. They were a huge part of society. And so it'd be the case that let's say a man is getting dominated or topped by his wife. Well, that's a problem. That's putting the man in a submissive role, and he'd be punished for that as well, right? So all it's saying is like, yeah. So there's nothing wrong with like gay sex. The issue is the role that's being assumed. You can't. A man could never take a submissive role, and that's the issue with these verses.
Right. So with that, but it says lie with man. No.
As shall not lie. So a male, you shall not. Sorry, you shall not. A man shall not lie with a man like he lies with a woman. That's the important. Like he lies with a woman.
Okay, so what does to lie mean in those terms?
It's metaphorical for sex. It's
Okay, so it is about homosexuality in a way.
No, because you can't lie with a man like you lie with a woman.
Wait, can I finish?
Cyber, I'm actually confused too, because like if you have like two guys who are like doing it right, one of them's got to be taking, no? Like, I mean, I've never done that, but I imagine one of them would have.
Neither have I, but that's what that would imply. Yes.
Let the record show that.
No, because you gotta realize that, like, yeah. So during this time, so the word that you see, the word that's being used there is mishkaveh. Mishkaveh. The first time we see mishkaveh ever being used is when can't remember the person. He's sleeping with his stepmother. He sleeps with his stepmother. I'm trying to remember who that is. That's the first time we ever see it moved. Mishkaveh just literally means just like dirty smacks, right? Is kind of like how it gets translated to. And so when you say like a male shall not lie with a man, it's just about like a dirty sex type thing. But during this time, like homosexuality wasn't a thing like we have today. Even in Greek culture, we know like they openly like practice homosexuality, and in Rome as well. But there's laws against it, especially in Rome. But we know
Right,
they
but-
still practiced it.
Wait, I'm actually.
Right.
What was the because you brought this up, like you said that you brought up this passage, but like were you taking a stance of something you were trying to get to? Because now we're kind of just doing like a almost like a history
Yeah.
lesson. So what's the
No,
position?
I was just trying to like see like what your like interpretation of that verse was, in the sense of
I don't
like
yeah, like there is a lot of like what Cyber's kind of demonstrating is there's a lot of a back and forth currently about that. Like I haven't even heard what Cyber's said before as a take, so like I'm still very unsure as to what exactly it would mean. But if it does
Yeah.
mean that homosexuality is an abomination or something, I would say that like that's obviously incorrect. I would disagree with that.
Yeah, because like the interpretation suggests lie with, and with the conversation that you've just had before, you were on about forcing someone to lie with, right? So it just confused me as to like if you're saying lie with a man, isn't that like it goes against the whole point of reproduction as a male species, if that makes sense.
Well, you don't want to talk about reproduction in this topic.
Yeah, like that's
There's
No,
going to be
I
an
know,
issue
but-
with God.
I was more meaning it as a point of humans in the sense of being a human being. It goes against the whole, I guess, rule as like a reproductive species.
well, so
right?
does like jerking off and like
Yeah, but then in the
pulling
Bible
out.
also says not to do that. Does it not?
I mean, the Bible says a lot of shit that I don't care about, you know? Like I would
Right,
just
but-
disagree with the Bible. Like, what's the
Okay.
harm? What's the harm in like, yanking it
Well,
time to time?
it can be damaging in some ways. It can be
I
damaging
mean,
to
anything
your
in
mental.
excess is gonna be like bad for you, but I think if you never do it, that's bad. I think I think you'd get pent up and aggressive. At least if you're like if you got the gonads, dangling below. I don't know what
mean-
it's like for like the chicks out there, but
It depends if you're exposed to it or not. That's the real like point there. If you're exposed to
you're
that
gonna
sort
get
of
the
content,
urges
then yeah.
regardless. Like you're just gonna get those urges.
I mean, yeah, it's in male DNA to literally reproduce and to
Mhm.
not conquer, but spread as much possible. That's it, literally in male
This is
DNA.
just like the instinct is what drives the desire, right? Is reproduction. Like that's that the reproduction is what drives the instinct is what I meant to say. But the
Mhm.
instinct does not like need to be done for reproduction. Like there's no rule that we have to do it that way. And most people would agree with that. I think that's a very non-controversial take. Having
I
sex
don't
for
even
fun is,
know.
like a perfectly valid reason.
I don't even know if reproduction drives the instinct, though. I think
But if you go into science, sorry to cut you off here, I am
Mhm.
sorry. If you go into science, it's genuinely embedded in our DNA as like man. It
Wait,
is
what is?
literally to reproduce and have the urge of mating with a woman.
Well, some people have the urge to have sex with the same sex. I mean,
That's
like,
beyond me.
it's-
I have no
that's
idea
a natural,
why.
like, that's just a natural phenomenon. I mean, it's all over the animal kingdom too.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but it's also embedded in us to reproduce, if that makes
Well,
sense.
yeah.
Otherwise, there wouldn't
Of course.
be such things as wounds and all of these other things.
Well, it's also like embedded in us to like get money, but that's a relatively new concept in human history. It's like it's not like we
So,
biologically were evolved to need to get money, but like we have a natural inclination to get it.
Yeah, I can see that. But money's a human-made thing. You can literally print money yourself, right?
So
You
are
can't
dildos.
print,
I mean, like I don't.
right?
I mean,
But what I'm saying is you can't print a human womb, right? It's just, I
yeah.
mean, you can get like artificial like wombs, but you can't get like an actual physical like womb, right? Unless you get it off a dead corpse or something like that.
Sebastian said, "So is God." The human-made thing. That's I agree with that, Sebastian. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
But
Like,
wouldn't you argue
I'm
that there
still,
has to be a
well, hold on, I'm
beginning to
still caught
something?
up. Well, hold on, I'm still caught up though on that. Like, it's like in our DNA to like reproduce or to have sex for reproduction. I don't think that's the case. I think it's something that happens when two people lay together, but I don't think there's anybody that has like the desire, like
Genghis
it's like,
Khan.
huh?
Genghis Khan.
Well, yeah. People may have a lot of partners. They may have harems, concubines, which leads to them having lots of offspring. But I don't think that means like the drive to do this act is like embedded in a desire to reproduce. I think reproduction is just a side effect of it. I don't think there's a desire to
I
reproduce
think that's
that
why it's
causes
so
one to want to do
powerful,
it.
though, because like survival and reproduction are the like prime drives of evolution. So that's like why our survival instinct is strong, and that's why our sexual urges are also really strong. I think they've been refined by this reproduction like imperative.
I was gonna mention, like, if you go back in like history, like the main point of a man marrying a woman or whatever is to have children and grow families so you carry on that heritage, right?
Yeah, that could just be a
That's not the
cultural
only
thing,
thing.
though.
Yeah, marriage is like, I mean, it's different everywhere you go in space and time.
Absolutely, I see that point, but I was more honing in on the sense of Western Europe, right? Specifically, like England or America or places like this, right? In like back in the day, like the 1970s, for example, your main like role as a man is to have a family, have a job, provide, protect, and care for, right? Those were
But
your main like roles.
but
So
that's
in
what
the
I'm
sense
saying,
of
though. It's a cultural thing. If we take a look at other cultures that have a matriarchal
right,
type thing,
um,
then we have things reversed, right? So this is why I was saying these are cultural things. These aren't like things that are embedded in our DNA. This is just cultural.
but then you also have the desire to reproduce, right? And you also have the desire to have that intimacy with a woman,
Thanks,
right?
Blondie.
So I would argue that it's also embedded in you to do that in the sense of is yeah maybe a cultural thing as well, but it's also in you to have that and then be able to carry on your line of heritage.
So, real quick, I just realized, what are we doing right now? Like, are we exploring topics? Are we just like, exploring science?
Well,
It was like a side topic on the sense of man should not lay with
and
man.
well, and that's the issue that we're going to run into, though, right? Because if the idea is to reproduce, right? Well, the issue that you're going to run into is that people are born asexual, right? Where meaning they just have no desire. You keep your bitty parts to yourself. I'm going to keep my
Can
bitty
you,
parts to
but
mine.
how can you be born that? You wouldn't know what that is unless it's taught to you. You can't
No.
just be
Some
born that
people,
way,
some
no?
people literally don't have any sexual desire.
Right, but doesn't
It's
that
just like a
develop over
quirk of
time? Because a
evolution.
baby can't have those feelings. A baby doesn't know that feeling.
I mean,
No,
yeah, I
these
think all
are
babies are asexual, but like you wouldn't be you would be, I guess you're always asexual when you're a baby, but you would be born in such a way that you would grow up to be asexual, is what he's saying.
Okay.
Your
Okay.
biology is
Ye-
making you asexual.
yeah, you just have no desire at all. And that's a spectrum in of itself. But then the issue that you run into as well is, again, you're a believer. The issue is then, why does God if like reproduction is the goal, why does God make it to the case where some
Oh, I
women
know.
are?
He'd be calling you to priesthood. Oh, but actually, if it's for women, I don't know. Like if women don't want to. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Like I think that
Well,
would be
because
the
if
answer.
his argument is reproduction, right? But if it is reproduction, right? Well, why does God make some women in a position where they just can't have children? Some men are born sterile. It is the case that the majority of fetuses will be spontaneously aborted before anybody even knows there was a pregnancy that was had.
You know what I
So
realized is like God can make people sterile. Like he does that. Like
Mhm.
he could have just been like, you know what? Hitler's dad should be sterile.
Mhm.
Nah, I don't want to take away the sperm's free will. I don't know, like what the fuck, like
I mean,
Right.
that's the whole point. God limited his power in the sense of he wasn't able to control that because
Wait,
he gave us the choice of free
remind me
will.
again, your position, so I can make sure I'm operating in your paradigm. Are you Christian?
I'm more trying to stay as a neutral position in this debate, but I would lean to more towards God being God in the sense of he's not evil,
God being,
Satan
oh,
is
you
not
said good?
better. Yeah.
Is it like when I say like God is evil, Satan's better? I'm specifically talking about the Christian paradigm, and I can do like the first prompt without the biblical God. I could talk about the problem of evil, or this and suffering.
Okay. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. All right. So if God is good, all right. So, for this to work, God being described as an all-powerful, all-knowing, creator of the universe, he can't be all good if he's those other two things, because he would have the power to prevent and stop all harm, or at least all gratuitous harm, if we want to say that some
Right.
is necessary. And he would know about all of it. And he would know exactly how to deal with it. The fact that it doesn't happen, that these things occur regardless of that, is an indication that he at least does not care. He's at least apathetic to us, and at worst, he's sadistic, where he's doing it on purpose and can't be good. But if he's apathetic, I wouldn't say that he's good. I'd say that he's almost neutral, but that's because I'm looking at this from a human perspective.
So with that, wouldn't you argue he chose to limit himself? He could have forced us to be a set way and just continue that. And you say that he can't be these things because of this. I mean, yeah, I can see that point, but it's more the fact of we were born out of sin, right? We were there. Like he knew about
Like
this,
by
right?
design, yeah. Like he made sure we were
Exactly.
born out of sin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
Now
But
I
then
don't know
he
what you
also
mean by him limiting himself. If it's something that would cause harm, I don't know why he would do that if he's all good. Like if him limiting himself is causing an ultimate good somehow, I can't imagine
because he
how.
gives you the choice in the sense of he gives you the free will to either say,
Well, free
yeah,
will
I
doesn't
want to
exist though.
believe.
Like free will is just an apologetic that people made up to get out of the problem of evil. And even if free will does exist, it's just very weak, because I would say that like I would happily take away the free will of someone who's like trying to fuck a kid, right? Like I don't care about their
Well,
free will.
yeah,
Fuck their free will, right? Their free will does not matter as much as the safety and free will of the victim, right? I'm gonna
but then that's also when laws come in, such as I believe 360 something Levitical laws, right? So there is probably something there, and he says, do not do. He's advising you, he's telling you, don't do this. I'm going to give you the free will. However, do not do this. And obviously, if we were to live by all 300 plus Levitical laws, then that would be just wild.
Yeah, I don't know why he would give. Oh, thank you, DJ Hot Tub. Oh, look at my.
Be almost goofy if there was an entire people group that was, living by all 316 plus Mosaic laws. Be weird if people like that actually existed today.
I mean,
I don't know how him giving us like, I'm gonna give you free will, but don't do it, knowing that we're gonna do it. It's like,
well, that's temptation.
What?
That's the devil.
Why
no?
is
Would-
temptation or the devil even necessary? Don't create those things. And I'm gonna
Don't
create
cre-
them. I need it to. Why is he doing this?
Right. So he created it in the sense of it was at the beginning it was all good. He knew that it was going to go bad, but at the beginning his idea and his image was all good.
I mean, it's his
Right.
fault it went bad. Like, he could have just kept it good. Like, why did he make it
He
bad?
could have, but he chose to limit himself in the sense of he
But-
wanted to give us the choice.
In his
Hold
perfect
on, but-
knowledge, he knows that it would be worse if he limited himself. By giving us choice, that introduces a system that's not perfect. Like, if something's perfect, it can't be better.
Well, nothing
So
can
God-
be perfect
Do you think God's perfect?
apart from. Well, yeah, no. I mean, God's perfect in the sense of his ideas, in the sense of he's creating it for good, but then it
But do you think that, like,
Can turn.
God can make a perfect creation?
angels. Well,
Okay,
wouldn't you
yeah.
argue they're a
God can
perfect
create
creation?
a perfect creation because he's omniscient. Sorry, omnipotent. God can create he's perfect. He can create a perfect creation because he's omnipotent. You would say that nothing is perfect, but that's because we live in an imperfect world. But God made it imperfect, like on purpose. And there's all this gratuitous suffering because of it. He could have made it perfect and nobody would complain. Nobody would complain, oh, it's so boring or whatever, But if it's boring, it's not perfect. So that still doesn't.
And the idea of God limiting himself as well. Like, at what point did he limit himself, right? Because if God is omniscient, if God is all knowing,
He knows what's going
right?
to
Was he like all knowing, saw something he didn't like, he's like, quick, I gotta limit myself so I don't see that anymore.
And I can sort of rebuttal that point in the sense of Adam and Eve and the apple, right? He took the bite out of the apple. He had all the knowledge supposedly to live forever, and God had to come in and alter our DNA. So then that's a time and age thing.
Well, so if you listen to the story, right, there's no altering of like DNA or anything with Adam and Eve. If you read the story, they partake of the fruit. God comes down. First, he punishes the serpent. Then he punishes Eve. Then he punishes Adam. And then he's like, see, they have become like one of us, knowing good from evil. Which, by the way, is exactly what the serpent said was going to happen. The serpent never lied. And then it says, so he kicks them out of the garden, and then he puts a flaming sword and a cherub to guard the entrance so that they cannot go partake of the tree of life. For if they do, they will live forever. So chances are, by listening to the literary device, chances are they were probably eating of that tree, and that's what was sustaining their life. And by removing them from the tree, they no longer had access to it. Thus, their immortality ran out. And this just fits in with Mediterranean mythology, where the Greek gods, the Roman gods, all the gods of the time period, they weren't like actually like immortal. They were immortal because, like in Greek mythology, they needed their nectar and ambrosia, right? It was what they ate that gave them their immortality. They weren't just inherently immortal.
It's fucking fascinating, man.
With that, wasn't the serpent technically also Satan because he was
No.
encouraging and
He was
tempting?
retrofitted to be Satan. It doesn't say anything about that anywhere in the Bible. There's it's alluded to in, I think, in what, like Revelation. They kind of do a callback to Genesis, and that's where people are getting that from.
Do you know what the Hasatan is in Judaism?
Please enlighten me.
He's like a worker for God, right? He's an enforcer for God, right? So, for example, when we go and we listen to the story of Job, right? You have the story of Job where the angels are meeting with God on God's throne room, and then Satan walks in, and God walks up to him like they're buddies. And he's like, hey, I haven't seen you for a minute. Where have you been? And Satan's like, I've just been down on earth, walking hither and thither, going down to Georgia, looking for some souls to steal. that part doesn't happen. But and Lucifer's and Satan's like, you got a good place here, and God's like, yeah, but have you looked at my servant Job? And Satan's like, he only follows you because you literally give him everything you want. And so God is like, you know what? I'm going to challenge you. You can go do whatever you want to try to get him to not worship me anymore. You just can't you can't kill him. You can do whatever you want. You just can't kill him. So when you read the story of Job, not only is Satan down there like wreaking havoc, but God is likewise sending fire from heaven and destroying things too. God participates in the destruction because Satan's his boy.
Yeah, Taylor, I did just take a poll. We've been talking for about
Yeah,
half an
I
hour.
did see.
So I'm gonna go ahead and move on. But you were nice to talk to.
Yeah, I
feel
appreciate
free
it,
to
dude.
come
I mean,
back. Yeah.
everyone's human. We should treat each other with respect. At the end of the day, that's what a debate is. We're only human. We should talk rather than cause violence.
I agree, because I'm only human. And wait, I have to save that for when the meter gets filled. Don't fill that meter, guys. Okay, we got weird thoughts. Oh, hang on. Before you say anything, I've gotta like get up for a reason I won't disclose.
Well, Lubes is getting a beer. Yeah, Lubes is getting a beer right here. Didn't you hear that boy Lubes is getting himself a note of beer? Yeah, so you should get one too. I said it's beer time. Yeah, it's beer time. Whoa. Flippity flappity flapping do below below below. Bitch. What kind you get? Ooh, that shit looks good. Yeah, baby, yo. Bitch.
All right, weird thoughts. Thank you for sitting through that. Are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 44.
All right, what God do you believe in?
Yahweh, the one and only.
Jewish version or Christian version?
They're all the same. He is the same.
Not the same. I mean, do you believe that Jesus is God?
He's part of God, yeah, the Trinity.
Okay, part of God. So you'd be like a heretical Christian.
What's heretical? What do you mean?
Like
a heretic?
Yeah, because you're saying that because you're engaging in partialism by saying he's part of God.
Oh no, because in the baptism with John, all three were exposed. Did you miss that?
I mean, like,
yeah,
I
God
don't
spoke,
think it's
the Holy Spirit came down.
I mean,
the
I
Son
would
was
be,
right there.
If I believed in the Christianity, I would also be a heretic too, because I think the Trinity is illogical. Like I would be a partialist like you too. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just making sure that that's like the position. But I get it. Like, so what prompted you?
How's that? Oh no, we're just moving past your obvious illiteracy.
My obvious illiteracy?
Yeah, you call me a heretic for believing in the Trinity, which is actually proven in the Gospels.
No,
that's not what I
that's
said.
not what he's asking.
I said partialism, because people who believe in the
No,
Trinity...
no, you said heretical.
Yeah, I did say heretical, but
is
not
that a
because of the
heretic?
not because you would be heretical if you did not believe in the Trinity, but you believe in the Trinity, but you described it as a partialism, where Jesus is part of God. That's heresy.
No, it's not.
It is.
It is heresy.
No, it's not.
It is.
It is.
Partialism,
Christ, when he gives authority
is
to the
a
Father,
heresy.
and modalism.
when he gives authority to the Father, when he gives authority to the Father, what is he saying?
Wait, say that
They
again?
have separate roles. Yeah, I know. Reading's hard, dude.
Well, they're distinct persons, but they're. Do you believe
we're
that Jesus
moving that
is?
goalpost?
Wait, what?
Okay.
You
Yeah,
don't
we're
know
moving that
what
goalpost.
Weird Thoughts doesn't even understand what we're trying to say.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
And he's
Do
being
you know
really
what-
Well, you can't
condescending for
read.
no reason.
Do you know what
Well, you can't
partialism
read.
is? Because it's the word you use.
No.
Do you know what partialism is?
Yeah, part of something.
Yes. So.
Okay.
So
So how's that heretical?
Ask the Christians, man. They're the ones who say so. I think it's logical to believe in that. I think that you would be more
So
accurate
why
than
did you
them.
call me heretical from your first person perspective and not reference Christians as that being their stance?
Because it would be their
Because
stance. They're the ones who are holding the
Because you were the one
rules.
calling me heretical, then I broke your argument.
Because
and I
No,
went back.
Christians
Okay.
are the ones who are calling you heretical. That's why I said
yeah,
that.
because
Oh,
the
really?
hypostatic
Yeah, you got to
union,
meet a Christian, yeah, that doesn't
because
believe in the Trinity.
homostasis, the hypostatic union, states that Jesus is God. He's not part of God. He is God.
hmm
Oh, really?
This is further
Yeah.
elaborated in Jude, where it attributes the things that Yahweh did in the Old Testament to Jesus.
Mm. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Does he say God?
Dude, you're like
Yeah, I
you're
know.
like
That's
arguing
about as
the
IQ as you
wrong
can get.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're just
Yeah, because
arguing
it's
stupidity and
biblical.
doubling down.
All right, well, let's see if somebody who's good faith wants to come up. That was really like frustrating. But it's okay. You got to have a clown every now and again. All right, let's bring
Hi,
Hey, Frieza, you least 18?
what's up? Yeah, I'm 31. 32, wait.
Oh, I'll be 31 soon. Cyber's fucking 40, old ass bitch. So, what God do you believe in?
To be honest, I believe in Zeus because I got an argument. A working argument, actually.
Real
And,
quick. Do you actually believe in Zeus?
yes, I believe in him as our creator.
Well,
Not
Zeus did,
necessarily.
in the mythology, he didn't create us.
Really?
I
Who
got a
did?
restriction for harassment and bullying. Guys, I'm gonna do a restart.
Lol, okay.
Come back, Frieza.
It was because of what I said
Okay.
about you, Cyber. I said the old thing, and the way I said it, I think, gave me a flag. So,
Oh.
guys, if you're not following me, give me a follow. We'll do a restart here. Ken Rista with the restriction.
And real quick, Frieza, it was Prometheus who created humans.
I thought it was Zeus because since he controls
We'll be right
So
back.
we're
lightning.
restarting. Come back.
We'll
Come
be
back.
right
We're
back.
restarting.
Yeah,
Give a follow,
okay.
Come right back. I don't know if there's anybody on YouTube. Not currently. Okay. Don't know what to do about this YouTube shit. TikTok is popping off though. Loki. Mm-mm-mm. We just sitting here, huh? Okay. Slice. You're the first one in here, Slice. Holy Honkers, welcome back. I see you, Yap House. I'll bring you up if the guest that just came up doesn't come back, okay? Oh, we got that guest back. Hey, Lobes, what for God Dreaming? Yeah, could be. Could be. Hey, Frieza. Welcome back, Holmes.
Hello.
Okay. Still waiting for Cyber, but
So,
yes, you can go ahead.
my
So
argument.
all right, yeah, give
Look.
your argument. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not really about Zeus. It's Zeus or Thor or I don't know, any interpretation that a god of lightning might exist. The reason I believe that's our creator is because abiogenesis needs lightning to form biotic complexes. So to form life.
Is that it?
Is that not enough?
It's not. No, it's not anywhere near enough. I mean, because I can believe in lightning without believing in a lightning god. Like lightning does not equal a lightning god.
Yeah, but I understand that. But since lightning in the theory of abiogenesis, lightning is a fundamental necessity, then we can conclude that maybe Zeus or Thor created
Or maybe
I
it
don't
was
know.
just lightning without it being a god. I mean, that's the simplest explanation. Is that it's just lightning. We confirm that lightning exists, but
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't
how do we
have to
get
be a
to-
god. Yeah, I
how do
understand.
we get from lightning exists to a lightning god exists?
Because they were talking about lightning gods a long
Oh shit,
time
Zeus is in
ago.
the chat. Sorry, go ahead.
Before. Oh look.
Zeus, motherfucker. Thanks for being here,
I
guys.
like your flashes. I like your flashes. Look, I believe nor God nor evil, nor good nor evil exists. So good and bad are artificial constructs, in my opinion.
I got a restriction.
So, right?
I just got a restriction again. This is disheartening.
What the?
Let me do a poll. Hey, if you want me to do yet another restart, do the
Oh my
crying
god.
face.
Do I have to
If you want me to just hang on, then do the happy face, okay? We'll poll the audience because I'm tempted to do another one. For the health of the live.
What's
but I don't wanna
what's
put you
restriction?
through multiple times.
Who's
Probably me.
reporting this?
It would be me. Like I would be the one.
What do you mean?
Oh no, 3 pips. This is not for the guests. This is for the live. Do I do another restart?
I understand.
I'm talking to my moderator. Yeah. So if you guys want me to keep on going, then just do the smiley face. If you want me to try another restart for the restriction, then do the crying face. I'm okay with either one. Just know that it's gonna be slow in here if I keep it on, probably. Cool. All right, 3, 2, 1, and we're locked in. Okay, we'll just hang out. It's only 10 minutes. So, all right. Okay, so I was saying that lightning doesn't equal God of lightning. And then you said something about like they believed in gods. So
No. I said they actually thought Zeus was the god of gods. The god of gods.
who did?
And he was also the god of lightning. So that led me to believe that maybe humanity is the reason. No, the reason. I meant the effect.
I don't understand where you're coming from.
The
man.
cause is lightning, right? The effect is humanity. If the cause of lightning is Zeus, then humanity exists because of Zeus.
Yeah, true. But how do we determine that the lightning was caused by Zeus? Like whether or not that's the case?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that we can't prove that.
Then why do you
We
believe
can't
it?
prove that.
Then why do you? Because you can't demonstrate it even in the slide. You can't even.
Yeah,
begin to demonstrate
you cannot because you can only believe what you don't know. What you know, and what you don't know,
Like,
you only have.
I mean,
to
you could say
believe.
that like, if Zeus created the lightning, then Zeus created the lightning. But this is similar to how Christians deal
No,
with
he
the
is
existence of the
lightning.
universe. He is lightning.
No, he
I don't know anybody who says Zeus is
the
lightning.
embodiment of. If I read correctly, the chat GPT about 4 weeks
There
ago
we go.
was telling me that yeah. It was telling me that Zeus, in fact, was the embodiment of lightning.
Cyber, I'm actually kind of convinced this guy's a troll. He keeps giving really bad arguments. Like, I'm not trying to be facetious. Like, I think that he actually like is giving like no way he actually believes this stuff kind of thing. All right, Yap House, I hear you yapping in the comments, but I'm still gonna bring you up because I said I would. What's up, man?
Howdy.
Howdy. What prompt do you want to engage with, Yap House? I think we spoke
Well,
before.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't remember what
All of
happened.
them.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
either, actually. Well, so God is evil. Yes. Satan is better in the understanding that Satan applies to personal autonomy. Yes. Neither are real. Yes. In the same way that your identity isn't real. And the last one is the one that I want to engage with.
In the same way that our identity isn't real?
Yes.
What do you mean by that? What's your
Well,
position?
your
Like,
identity is made up.
What is your position? Are you a theist?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe in like the Christian God or something else?
No, I believe in the Hindu god without the caste system.
Oh wait, what system? I know a little bit about Hinduism, but like not very much.
Yeah, me too. No. So Hinduism, Brahmin, the being that is everything pretending to be one thing without the caste system.
Yeah, what's that system? What is that? The cat system? Like meow or what? Is that not the pronunciation?
No. Caste. You know what I'm saying.
No, I don't.
You know what
I
I'm saying.
don't
Come
know.
on.
I literally don't. Caste
Oh, a
system.
caste system. Caste system is like you're gonna have like kings. Okay, go
You're
ahead.
wrong, Cyber. No. You're not gonna
Yeah,
have.
you're wrong, Cyber.
You're not gonna
You're wrong,
have.
Cyber. Just
You're not gonna have.
be quiet for the rest of this.
Well, one thing that I have about your question is like, who is it that's mistaken about having identity? Like, are we like who's mistaken about it?
Well, identity is false unless
How?
you identify as the one thing that is everything, which is I.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going. Let me give you a syllogism here. We'll go with a P1. An illusion requires
And
someone
you're
to
wrong.
experience the illusion.
Oh, goodbye, Yap House.
If no-
I'm not gonna deal with that.
If no genuine, oh, you dropped him.
Continue, but like, I'm not
Yeah,
dealing with him.
If no genuine self exists, there is no experiencer. Therefore, the claim that self is an illusion presupposes a subject who is supposedly illusionary. It just self defeats itself.
Why do you even have that syllogism up and ready to go? Like, what the fuck? Like, that's not. I would never think I would ever need a syllogism for that. I was caught so off guard that he was denying identity, and I wouldn't have said it that way. I would just be like, yeah, like, if A does not equal A, you're still invoking A. That's kind of my response to that, just off rip. But you
Yeah.
have this whole syllogism for somebody who denies identity. How often do you run into this situation?
I just typed up a two premise
Oh, you
syllogism.
just did it. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is like the question is, you just ask a question like, who's just mistaken about having identity? Because if identity like doesn't exist, and he'll be like nobody. Well, then there's no
Well, he
claim
did
being
say
made.
that,
It's
like,
just goofy.
he did say that like God does not exist, correct, in the same way that your identity doesn't exist. So I don't even know how to engage. You know, I literally don't have any idea what he's talking about. Hey Sheila, I feel like we've talked before. Have we talked before?
Yes, we have.
Okay. I think it went okay. I don't remember exactly. But you're a Christian, right?
Yes, I am.
Alright. Did you speak with me in Cyber or just me or me with somebody else?
I don't know my
Maybe you don't
everything
remember.
in it.
That's alright. So what
No,
prompted you to
I
get
do
there?
remember exactly. I know.
Right, well, what prompt do you want to engage with?
No, I'm asking. You know what do you want me to do? Because you asked this question.
One of the three prompts.
God is evil.
Yeah.
Satan is better. Never are real.
Neither
So,
are real. Yeah. So which one did you want to talk
yeah.
about?
Well,
Which one did you want to talk about?
let's talk about God is evil.
Sure. So from a Christian standpoint, I mean, well, actually, I'll give you I'll ask you this because I could go in a couple of different directions. Would you rather I talk about biblical narrative, or would you rather I talk about the like reality?
That's an algorithm, right? So, basically, let's just do the Bible, right?
Sure. Yeah. So in the Bible, you have instances of God committing genocide, omnicide, even
No,
commanding genocide.
where's
You
the
have him.
scripture, though?
I mean, I
Look
was
at the
given a
book.
list, but
Okay, look at the book.
Wait,
Look at the book.
what do you want a
do you want to
chapter
talk about?
for?
Do you want to talk about genocide or
Galatians? No, Galatians.
Oh,
Well,
you
we'll
got it.
talk
You want us to
about.
read something? Galatians.
Galatians.
Where's Galatians? Is that New Test? That's New Testament, right?
Yeah.
It's a letter to the Galatians,
No, it's no. Okay.
I think.
So we brought up genocide, and you wanted a verse for it. Can I get you
There's
the
no
verse?
genocide in Galatians. What are you
Why would
talking
I just
about?
go off
Bro,
Galatians?
what? We're not talking about Galatians.
No, you asked me. I
But
want to.
I thought you were saying you wanted to talk about Galatians. Where is Galatians?
Yes, absolutely.
What chapter in Galatians?
Chapter 4, chapter 5.
And what do you want to talk about concerning them?
Well, what do you want to read?
Oh my God. Why did you bring it up? If you want us to like pick what we're gonna talk
Well,
about.
basically, can you read it? Because
We're not going to read it
basically,
all up here, but what about it?
well, don't rush me, right? You can't be rushed, right? You can't be rushed.
I mean, you can't go this slow though. Like, I mean,
Why
like,
not?
where are you? Like, where are you going? What do you want us to read Galatians, and for what reason?
Or what do you seek?
Holy shit!
Galatians.
All right, I think no guess is better. Yeah, so it's just her or Yap House. So if anybody, I mean, this is the restrictions suck, man. Because like I've only got those two requesting, and I've got like almost 20 people in here. So the restriction,
Did you try
unfortunately,
to appeal it?
it didn't give me the
To give you
option.
what?
And I got another one before you got here. Unless it's the same one that remembered from last time or something.
Well, fam, hop on up. I'd love to hear that argument, because so far what the scripture tells us, that's not the case. In the scriptures, God has done far more atrocious acts than Satan ever did. Hey, I did have a question I wanted to run by you, though. I don't think Jaren and I will be resurrecting Reason and Rebellion, just because on Thursdays he spends that time with his family and stuff. What are your thoughts about doing something for Reason and Rebellion on Thursday nights?
Remind me what exactly it was. It was like conspiracy theories, I think.
Essentially it was it's a more relaxed thing. We wouldn't necessarily talk about conspiracy theories. Every week we'd have a different topic that we would talk about. Some of them would be religious in nature. We might talk about conspiracy theories. It'd just be different things that we would talk about. But we'd also have like a drink of the week. So it'd be just Jaren and I up here getting sloshed.
I do like a good slosh. Man, that's really tempting. But the thing is, like, I only have time for, because I go live on Thursday nights, and I do it as soon as I'm available, which is technically Friday morning. That's how late I have to do it. You know what I mean? So, although, I actually was speaking, this is kind of a little bit on the DL, but I was speaking earlier tonight to Joyful Apostate. And he was just telling me about how he's healing and stuff. But we were talking about the secular perspective. and I was thinking about starting that back up again as my project rather than his. And he told me that he was going to give me his YouTube for the secular perspective, so I might do that.
Okay.
But like
Nice.
it's in the early. It's like the plan I have for it is just that idea. Maybe I do that. So, but I would need more than just me, so it's not just my stream with a different name, and I would also need people to help me with the production because I want it to be better than this stream. So maybe we could do something like that if you wanted to be a part of the secular perspective in the event I resurrect it.
Okay, yeah. Message me and let's talk about it.
Sure.
Sheila is you can't even read the word because you're Satan. You got to do that. I was trying to read the word. You didn't want to read the word.
You just like, well, what do you want to read? What do you want? Like we don't want a guest up here to tell us to talk to ourselves, Sheila. Sorry. Hey, was that Matthias?
Yeah, Matthias.
Matthias. Oh, I should have known. It's so obvious.
No,
All right.
it's
Are you at
okay.
least 18?
Yeah, I'm 25.
Okay. And are you Christian?
Yes, I am.
Okay. What prompt do you want to engage with, Matthias?
Particularly the first one.
Okay. So, did you want to start with a did you want to start, or do you want me to like tell you why I think this?
Yeah, I want to know why you think God is evil.
Yeah. Well, so if we want to go the biblical route, I could list the atrocities that the God does in the storybook, or I could take it to like reality and talk about the problem of evil.
Well, I think the problem of evil would just probably be a summarization of the things that you think are atrocities in the Bible, so we can just start there.
Problem of evil. Okay. So yeah, if God is an all-powerful and all-knowing being, then he could not possibly be all good as we know good to be, because we have gratuitous suffering that exists. That would not happen if there is someone who has the power to stop and prevent the suffering and knows all about it and how to stop it, right? So the only possible thing that could exist is something that has not all three. Actually, I don't even know if you could have even one of them, now that I'm thinking about it. But if he's all powerful and all knowing, he's certainly not all good. Like the earthquake in Haiti, for instance. This is something that did not like need to happen, and over 200,000 people lost their lives just because of nature. So this is something that God would have been responsible for. But if you were all good, he wouldn't have allowed this to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a motivation to believe that. Let me just give a clarification. I don't only believe that God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and omnibenevolent. I also believe that God decrees all things to be exactly the way that they are. So now that you have that in mind, what makes you the arbiter to say that this is something that shouldn't have happened?
Oh, well, I mean, we just so I would say that when we say that something's good or bad, it's a value judgment. And from a human perspective, whenever we say that, like, if we were to say that somebody was all good, we would be speaking from our own perspective, right? And if we're saying that God is all good, the only thing I could think of is like, what does that even mean? Like from his own perspective, or from certainly not from humanity's perspective, because we would say
Right,
that
so
I think we would all
sorry.
agree that
Yeah.
earthquakes that kill hundreds of thousands of people are bad, unless you're like not gonna say that. But I don't know what your stance is on that.
Yeah, I don't believe that that's something that's necessarily bad, but you said something interesting. You said that when we're judging like God being all good, we're understanding that from like our human understanding
Right,
of
because it's
what
all just
good even
subjective.
is.
Yeah, it's
Right.
subjective.
Well, then I think from your viewpoint it would be subjective, but I think the all goodness of God is what is going to be objective in this case. But we're not discussing God's existence, we're discussing God's morality and his moral appraisal. So, yeah, I don't see a motivation to believe that just because God's all powerful and all knowing and all good, that he should stop suffering or not even allow it to happen in the first place.
Do you think that suffering is good?
I think it can be good. It can bring about certain realizable
Do you
goods that
think that
couldn't
it's
exist
always good?
otherwise.
Do you think that any suffering exists that's not good?
Well, I don't think suffering like itself is a good, but I think that certain sufferings bring about realizable goods.
I mean, sure, like you could get good from bad. I mean, I'll concede that. But do you
Right.
think that there is any unnecessary suffering in the world?
No, I don't.
Okay, so you think that all the suffering that's ever happened in the world is necessary?
It depends on what you mean by necessary. You're saying like has to be the case in every possible world? No, of course not. God could have chosen not to create anything.
Okay, so so God does allow unnecessary suffering.
Well, again, I think we're just like equivocating on necessary here and unnecessary. You're saying like necessary is just in like something being essential. Then yeah,
Essential for,
like the
I guess,
suffering
for
is
like
essential to
for
God's
like a
plan.
greater good. Like I gave the example already, so I guess we can reuse it. The earthquake in Haiti, that killed over 200,000 people. Do you think that this was a
Mhm.
necessary natural evil?
Again, we're not really establishing what we mean by necessary here. You just keep like reiterating the same question different
Do you
ways.
think that it was for a greater good?
Yeah, I believe everything is done for the greater good.
Okay,
So what's
and
the greater good that achieved from the earthquake in Haiti?
Yeah, I mean, there's many realizable goods that came from that. The knowledge on how to protect against those things in the future, as well as I mean, there's multiple things. That's just one example.
but like if
Well,
they
if there were
don't
no
More of like
earthquakes,
if they
though.
never existed, then you don't need to worry about preventing them.
Mhm.
right. Well, that's right. Exactly. So we're not talking about whether or not this thing is inherently bad or inherently good. We're already have conceded and agreed that good can come from bad things, right? So in this
No,
case,
you're
we're just talking about like it seems to
Good
be your
doesn't need
case.
to come from bad
Yeah,
things. Is the
yeah.
problem? Like if we didn't have
I'm
earthquakes,
not
nobody
saying that
would
it
complain
needs to.
about that. Like
Yeah,
good
but
can
the
come from the
argument is
bad.
now. Yeah, the discussion is now shifted from like God is bad because evil things happen to God is bad or evil because these things even exist in the first
I would say
place.
that the ends
no,
certainly don't
no.
justify the means in this case, at
You're
least.
Well, it's just going to be a
Like
claim.
the ends because the earthquake. It sounds like what you're saying. The earthquake happened for the purpose of us understanding what to do if an earthquake happens. And
No, it
I'm like
wasn't the purpose.
those ends don't just those like ends do not
I
justify
didn't
the
say that that
means.
was the purpose.
Well, that was the example that you gave when I asked.
Yeah, I gave an example. I was being ostensive, but that wasn't to say that it was the purpose. To say that the effect of a thing is the actual cause is kind of ridiculous.
What were you trying to say,
so
Cyber?
yeah. So real quick, because when we started this, Lobes made it clear that what he meant by evil was going to be the unnecessary evil. Now we can agree that there's some benefits, like stubbing your toe could be a benefit to learn how to navigate around the world, right? But again, when it comes to earthquakes, right, like the earthquake in Haiti, we just consider that an unnecessary evil because it could be the case that God could have created a world with no plate tectonics, thus with no plates, thus no plate tectonics, thus no earthquakes. Or it could have created where the fault lines are in an area where humans don't reside. So again, the question is just going to be then, what is the lesson learned, the benefit, whatever you're trying to use to justify that the earthquake has a net good at the end of it, or some kind of good.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't have to give like an individual example, which would be like a cumulative case of reasons why or reasons how these things good came from this bad or this evil, right? I just have to show that it is the case that this kind of bad can produce good, right?
Yeah,
And
what kind of good can it produce? Show us how it produces
yeah, I
good.
already gave one example, right?
I wouldn't
With
even
the
I don't
say
have
that
to
earthquake?
give more
I
than
wouldn't
that.
even say that it makes a difference, to be honest. Like if gratuitous suffering causes like a good that's like even if it's like a great good, it's still like I would still say that it was terrible that it happened, and I would wish that it never happened in the first place.
Okay, do you guys like hypotheticals or no?
I love
I can give them.
hypotheticals. Yeah, I use them all the
Cool.
time. So I guess you got one.
Yeah, so like, let's say that, and obviously I don't know if this was the case, but let's say it possibly was the case that prior to the earthquake happening in Haiti, right? That a big famine, which would have killed a lot more than 250,000 people, was about to swipe through the country. And to prevent that, an earthquake happened, which killed patient zero,
Okay.
right? Amongst other people who also had dormant in them, just being asymptomatic, this plague, right? Can we agree that a destruction of 250,000 people who could possibly infect, the greater populace of Haiti or even the whole planet would be something that's good?
Okay, so I would just say that like if God is all powerful, then surely He could come up with a better way of stopping this plague by just snapping it out of existence rather than killing 200,000 people. I think that's like a really idiotic way to go about solving the problem. Like if you have a patient that's got a plague, dropping a piano on his head and the head of a 200,000 people, yeah, that's one way you could stop it, but that's like an idiotic way to go about doing that. Just remove it, like poof it out of existence,
Yeah.
make it so that it never happens in the first place. You're all powerful, you're all knowing. There's no excuse.
Yeah, but I didn't say that it was the case that this is like actually a thing. This is just being ostensive to show how it doesn't necessarily follow that because bad things happen, the one who causes it is bad.
No, it doesn't necessarily follow, but it does if the cause is all powerful, all knowing, and the prime mover. It does.
Yeah, there's still no motivation for me to believe that. Like, there can be certain deprivation cases, right?
All right,
Or
well, help me
rather,
out then.
certain realizable
Can you
goods
like give
that
me
require
an example
deprivation
of
cases.
something that God could do? Like if God did X, then He would be evil. Can you give me an example of something like that?
Sure. Like, if God were to, if God were to go against His own like existence or being, what it actually constitutes, what He is, then it would produce some ungoodness,
Like
which
what
I
would that
would
look
just
like?
take to be, like, I mean, an attempt to perform like some kind of metaphysical contradiction.
Okay, so like if God, let's say that it's just hypothetical again. I got a hypothetical. If God were from our perspective, from every human's perspective, pure evil in the most extreme way, that would still be good in your view.
Well, I
Because
just take an
he'd be
evil to be a
consistent in his like,
deprivation of good.
yeah, but that's nonsense.
Yeah.
But like but he would be good in your view,
How is that
even if he was,
nonsense?
because evil is obviously not a deprivation of good. That's just like a
Okay,
thing
then what is
theologians
evil?
or that like apologists say. Evil is like
No,
evil
it's
is
what
extreme
philosophy says.
wickedness. It's extreme wickedness or like what's the word I was looking for? Or like moral bad.
Okay, that's not really informative, right?
I think it's
It's
like
just
because
telling
I
me
think it's just like trivial. I
borderline
think it's like
tautological.
trivially obvious what evil is. To say it's a deprivation of good, like because if I was to like say,
So you're
think of an
disagreeing
example
that
here.
evil is a deprivation of
Evil.
good?
If I think that where you have evil, I think if somebody's an evil person, they can still behave in good ways, right? Like if you have an evil person, let's say
Right, but that's not discussing
an
evil.
evil
That's not discussing evil
serial
itself,
killer,
nor is
for
it discussing
example.
goodness itself. So, like, if you're gonna say that, like, evil is not just a deprivation of good, right? Are you saying that like good has any kind of communion with evil?
Good and evil, I would say, are just value judgments. When we say that something is evil, we're talking about something being extremely immoral or wicked from our point of view.
Okay, and this brings me back to the question I asked earlier, like, what makes you the arbiter of what is good and what is bad?
But because it's from my own point of view, it's just me deciding like what is beneficial for myself or things
So
that I
God
like or
is
don't
evil
like.
because you think so?
But from a human's perspective, God would be deleterious to our existence.
I don't know what deleterious means. You have to define
Like he's
that.
harmful to our existence. He just like will
Yeah,
kill us
well,
for no reason.
I'm a human being, and presumably I have a human mind, and I don't conclude there.
Yeah,
It's
because
not where my
because
reasoning
what you
leads me.
do as a human being who has religion is you just you hear what God says about himself, even if it's not actually true, and
Well,
just
how do you know
decide
I
that that
didn't
must be the
conclude?
case. Like if
Yeah,
God were to say,
how do you know
if
I
God were
didn't
to come
conclude
down to
that God
you,
exists and is not evil
if
prior
God
to
were to
me
come
being
to you,
religious?
if God were to come to you and say that like, hey, Matthias, I'm going to end the lives of everyone you care about right now just for fun, you would say that that's good, but that's absurd.
I never made that kind of a proposition, but regardless, right?
Well, it
So
follows from what you said, because you said that God
it
would,
obviously doesn't.
in order for God to be evil, he would have to do some kind of contradiction, and there's no
That's not
contradiction.
what I said.
You
That
said some
was an
kind of
example.
metaphysical contradiction to his nature or
Yeah,
something
that
like
was an
that.
example. I didn't say that the only way. I didn't say that God can be evil if and only if he performs
Well,
some kind of
what's an
metaphysical
action that he could
contradiction.
commit, like a specific action that he could commit that would make him evil then?
Yeah,
Because I
but
think
this is
that's the
just like
example that
going
people
back to the question that I've already answered before, right? I'm asking you a question now.
I don't think I got a really good answer then if I'm asking it again.
Well, presumably you're not like answering my question. So like my question is if I'm a human, then I have a human mind, right? So I can reason, and it can very well be the case that I did reason that God exists and that God is not evil prior to me ever adopting some sort of a religion or understanding what God has supposedly told me, right? Whether that
Well,
be
with
through
your
like some
priors, how
kind
would you
of
be
a
defining
personal
evil?
revelation or revelatory experience.
Well, how would you be defining evil before you found God? How would you be defining evil then?
Yeah, I would still take evil to be a deprivation of good.
What is good?
I wouldn't have had a substantive answer for that question
So
before I
you wouldn't
came to
even
God.
know what good is.
Yeah, prior to me understanding what God is and coming
But
to that
like,
realization by reasoning, I wouldn't have had a substantive answer.
but Matthias, what do you think your answer would be, even if it's not substantive? Because
I
like,
just told
put
you
us. I
it
know
would
you
be the
said
same
I
answer I
wouldn't have
have now.
I wouldn't have a substantive answer, but like what like
No, I
we all
already
have
told
a
you
moral
that
intuition.
the answer.
We all
I
have a
already
moral
told you that the
intuition.
answer would have been the same. It would have been the same answer that I would give now, right? But I would still say
What
that it's
like?
not substantive.
Well, what's your substantive explanation now? That it's just what God, it derives from God? Is that what you said?
Yeah, and
It's God's
prior
nature.
it probably would have been the same kind of answer, just wouldn't have
Even
had a
before you
reason
found God, like
to assert that.
before you like analyze God, you're like, because you already have an idea of good before you have this idea of God, and you look at God and you're like, well, I don't know what this God thing is, but if it aligns with God that I already somehow believe in before I know about God, then like
Right, which is
it
why
seems
it wouldn't have
circular as shit.
been right, which is why it wouldn't have been substantive. So are we gonna like keep attacking like my standing before I was a Christian, or are we gonna get back onto the topic? Because so far, like you said, you wanted to talk about the problem of evil. You haven't formulated into an argument. You've just given me some kind of disjunction,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, because it's
and then I
difficult
disagree with
because
what the
you have
disjunction entails.
you have like the position that like I think any example that I give, like so and so got raped, so and so got crushed by rocks, so and so got like obliterated by a meteor strike, someone had cancer at 7 and died horribly, a plague wiped out a whole bunch of people. You'd be like, yep, that's all good. And I'm like, well, what can I even say? Like, you think that all the most horrible things that could happen are good because it all comports with how
Well,
God
seemingly your next
necessitated the
step of
thing.
argumentation would be to prove how it's impossible that that would be good.
Because these things are value judges, man. These things come from our intrinsic desire to keep on living and live meaningful lives. We can't do that if our lives are
Do you
snuffed out
think
in
every
horrific
human
ways.
being has that intrinsic desire?
I think that human beings that still live have a desire to live. Those who don't want to live, they stop doing that, usually.
Well,
Okay, so like now we're getting into like the distinction between like a first order desire and a second order desire. So like to say that you want to do something and to say that you want to do something are not the same thing. So like when you say that any living person wants to keep living,
Shit.
it's just going to be like a first order desire. But if you're going to say like a person who wants to stop living just stops living, well then there would be a conflation there, because then that would be a second order desire. And I think what you meant
No, I
to say was
understand what you
that
mean.
a
I
person who
understand that.
wants to stop living would want to stop living before they take their own life.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying there. What are you trying to say, Cyber?
I was gonna say I don't know. I've been doing some reading, and I don't know. The issue with the idea that evil is just the deprivation of good is kind of like saying that like a gunshot is merely the absence of peace. While technically something good is missing, the description doesn't explain real action or the harm that took place. Like it's just a weird thing to like say. So like you're still gonna have like the thing still happen. So I don't know. I just don't think that's
Like,
a good answer.
do you think
for
that
what
That
like
wasn't
exists.
even like
do you
an
think that like
analogy.
oil? Do you think oil is the deprivation of water because where oil goes, it separates from water? Like water can't be where oil is.
No, of course not, because there's like not going to be like a like cause and effect of the two, right? Or even like an asymmetry between the two. So
But they're
like
not
we're just
symmetrical.
gonna have what?
They're not symmetrical though. Like
I
if
said
you add
yeah, I said
water,
there's gonna be some kind of asymmetry. Right?
yeah.
It's gonna
Oh,
be
I thought you said there's not
asymmetrical.
going to be asymmetry. Oh, you mean between the two examples? Okay, I see what you're saying. Um, yeah, no,
What?
like
No, between like between oil and water. So like
that's
just
what you
because like
said.
oil and water, just because oil and water don't mix, don't mean like they're a
Yeah,
privation
like
of each other.
good and evil. Yeah. Well, actually, good and evil do mix sometimes. Like you can do a bad thing for a good reason or a good thing for a bad reason.
No, that wouldn't be like a mix. It depends on
Yeah,
what
it's
you
a
mean
mix.
by
It's like the yin
mixing.
yang. That's a mix.
No, I
Yeah,
wouldn't say
yeah, because
that.
you could like, you stop an attacker
Yin
from
yang
attacking
is
somebody,
also
but
a
you
bad
kill them when you didn't
analogy.
need to do that, like because killing people is bad. Um, yeah, like that, or yeah, like somebody's taking a candy bar,
Well,
so you kill them.
that's
Like I
kind of
think that's like a
arbitrary.
good and a bad thing together.
What makes killing people bad?
Well, I'm a moral
Yeah,
realist. He's not, but I'm a
I'm like
moral
actually
realist.
curious though, like I know this is a little bit of a too quick way, but I'm really curious as to why you think it is.
Well, I don't think all killing is bad.
I mean,
I
I
think
don't know that
certain
all
killing is
killing is, I wouldn't
justified.
say that all killing is bad, but like if you have an innocent person who gets killed for like the thrill of somebody, I would say that that's bad, but like, would you say that
Yeah, I
that's
would
bad, or
agree.
do you think that
Of
okay,
course.
but like, okay, so then we would be in agreement, but why do you think that that would be bad?
Yeah, I think like because it would be like ungrounded, be unjustified, right?
Okay.
It wouldn't be something that has like any kind of like real meaning to, or
Yeah,
like any
and
kind
you
of
would say that
justification
like
for.
the thrill of oneself is not justification for taking the life of somebody else.
No, of course not.
And if it's unjustified, then it's bad.
Yeah.
It's like
So
evil.
like I mean I can give like some kind of
So you
like
would say that like every action
example
that God
between the
takes
two.
is justified.
Yeah, of course it's grounded in himself
So then every time
or
that
from himself.
God is grounded in himself. Wait, is that like God does
Grounded
whatever
from
he wants to
himself.
do?
No, it's not like God does whatever he wants to do.
Because it would be grounded in himself. Because if it's grounded in himself, it's just subjective.
No, I didn't. I corrected myself when I said in oneself. I said from himself.
Yeah, from himself. Yeah, it would just be subjective if it's grounded from himself.
No, it's not. It's not subjective. It's like an objective outpouring of what God is himself.
Yeah, but
Who
it's what
God
God
is.
is, but not what morality is or what good or evil is. If God, I mean, because
Well, the only way we can come to some kind of
if an evil
understanding of
action is
what
objectively
morality is.
evil, if an evil action is objectively evil because it's like it's not justified, that wouldn't have anything to do with God.
It's
Like
just,
God
yeah,
could
unjustification
hypothetically
isn't
say
going to be like a
God could
sufficient
hypothetically say
condition,
like
right?
the contrary. Like if God were to say that
I just
something
think you
that was
keep
evil is
strawmanning me.
good.
I never said that unjustification or justification is going to be a sufficient condition for what makes something moral and immoral. Never
But
made
isn't that
that
what you
claim.
just said? Like I asked why you said
No,
that
it's going to be a condition. I
the
never said it's the sufficient condition.
so like if something is unjustified, if somebody kills somebody for an unjustified reason, it can still be good, even if they aren't justified.
No, yeah. So like, for an example, like let's say that there was a person, right? He was walking in a park, okay, and then there was this other man who was under a bridge and he was attacking a woman, okay. Now let's say that the man wants to unalive the man who's attacking the woman. Okay, but unbeknownst to him, the man is actually attacking a woman. He approaches from behind. It's dark. It's under a bridge. He unalives the man. Okay, for his own moral standing, the moral appraisal that would obtain from that is going to be bad. Right? He's going to be morally culpable for that action, even though it produces some kind of good. So it
Like he
just
doesn't
depends
know.
on
You're saying he
how
doesn't know
you're
that he's
applying
attacking. He didn't
a
know that.
woman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. Like
So it's unjustified and unwarranted from the man's own desire, right?
right.
Which would make the thing bad.
Yeah.
But like but the action itself is going to produce good.
Right, but like the action itself, though, regardless of what it produces, is bad because he has nefarious. Like his act is not justified from his perspective, right? He doesn't know that
Yeah,
he's
but the
saving somebody.
existence and realization, so the act obtaining in reality is going to have
Well, right,
goodness.
but like you can take this to like an impossible chain eventually of understanding where you could say like, well, but that lady went on
I
to be
don't
the
know
next
what that
Hitler or
means.
something.
An impossible chain? I don't know what that means.
Like an impossible chain to understand. I mean, like you could say that like that lady could go on to be the next Hitler, so it's actually a really really bad that he did this bad thing that had a slightly good thing. But then like that next Hitler, because we defeated her, now because of this somehow we cured all disease. Like because of something that she did with her disgusting like experiment she was doing. Now we at least know
Yeah,
that.
but seemingly you would just be trying to give like a counter example to my example, which my example isn't saying like this is like a realizable thing that happens in reality,
Because
even though it
what I'm
possibly
trying to
could be.
point out,
All
what
my
I'm trying to point
example,
out though, dude,
yeah,
is
if I
that
could
like
just finish.
good and bad come from actions.
So
So
I
we
think I
don't
see the
judge what
problem
come
here. I think the
from.
problem is that you don't listen to the things that I'm saying before you begin to want to speak and then subsequently begin to speak. I think that's the issue. I don't think that you'll ever understand what somebody's trying to say as long as you keep just
I don't know
waiting
how long
to
you've been
talk
watching me,
and
man.
not listening.
I don't know how long you've been watching me, but I let people speak for far too long, pretty often.
Well, you
To where I'm
haven't
not even
extended that
speaking.
grace to me because every single time I've tried to speak, I've been either cut off or about to be cut off until
Well, you've
I've
been cutting him off
asserted that I.
too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I was being cut off to begin with.
Yeah, but it's okay.
And I don't
So
think that it was
what I
something
was,
that
but
was
what I
to be
was
done
saying,
maliciously.
what I
And
was
here we go
saying is
again.
that,
Right? See, I wasn't
yeah,
even done my first statement. Now
what
I
I was
can't
saying
finish the
is that
second one either.
we don't judge an action
This
based
is the
on
problem.
we don't judge an action based on
How do you
the
judge an action?
we don't judge
By
an
by which
action
standard
based
are you judging?
so we don't judge an action based on what could come of it because good and evil, good and bad both come from every action
That
that you
wasn't the
take in
purpose
the
of the
world.
example at all. But how do you judge something?
That I have no idea what you're even talking about anymore. Like every
Yeah,
time I
the
talk, you say
example
that
wasn't to
I'm
say like this is
strawmanning
the
you,
case. An
but
example shows how something
every
could
time
be
I
the
try to
case
take
and
you
it's
to a
not a
logical
negation.
place,
Yeah, so like let's stay like in logic, right?
yeah, I'm just getting sick of that. All that's left is Yap House. I'm not bringing it back up. So
I don't think even with that example he gave. So what can you summarize the example he gave?
yeah, he was saying that like if there was like a guy who was attacking a woman under a bridge, and
Mhm.
then person comes up and wants to attack the
A
person who's
third
attacking.
person.
Yeah, the third person, like the person whose action we're going to be judging.
Mhm.
He comes up and he like attacks the attacker, but he doesn't know that he's saving the woman. He's attacking because he wants to
Mhm.
attack somebody. So there's two people
Mhm.
who are attacking just for the sake of attacking, I guess. And so like it's like it produced a good result because he saved the woman. But it was like it was an immoral action because of his intentions. It was not justified. But that was his response to me asking like, so something can be done unjustified and be good? So it doesn't even make any sense.
That yeah, because I heard it, but my hedgehog's over here running on the wheel. But that just contradicts his view on what evil is, because his definition of evil is a deprivation of goodness. But if this woman ends up, getting saved as a result, well, that's goodness. There's no deprivation of goodness in here. So under his worldview, neither of these people are doing anything evil.
Man, what I should have asked was like, what if we were to just have all the babies killed and they all go to heaven? That's like good comes from that. Like why would he say that that's wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Bailey, are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 27.
What God do you believe in?
None. I don't believe in any. I think it's all evil.
Oh,
Really?
well, we're trying to talk to theists, but would you want to say something real quick?
Yeah, just that these people on here, man, are just completely insufferable. Like, I really try not to bash people's faiths, but it's really hard to not when you're giving good points. But you know, you're talking to these people, especially Christians, and they're waiting for like a second coming that may not ever happen or has already happened and they haven't believed it.
It's not gonna happen.
Like, no, but it's like, do you see my point? Like, you
need a-
see all of
you
these
need a first coming
documentaries
first.
online. Yeah, this is it. But it's like, you see all these documentaries online where these people are like, oh yeah, I'm like the reincarnation of Jesus. And no one's believing. They're like, oh, that's a cult leader. And then like 10 years down the line, they've done like a joint suicide of like 900 people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just absolutely mental, man. Like, I was raised Mormon as a kid. And it,
Oh no.
dude, it traumatized me.
So actually-
The fear that I felt as a kid was insane.
Can I
Just
ask
to give you an idea.
was there like a catalyst that had you leave it? Was there like something that was more absurd than anything that you've considered before about it, or was it like an accumulation of things?
Well,
What's
so
the
like,
most absurd thing
so
about it?
the thing, what made me leave faith, like, and all that.
I guess it's twofold, because I want to know like what made you leave faith, but I also want to know like this trivial fact, like what do you think is the most absurd thing about Mormonism specifically? So like 2 questions.
God, bloody hell, mate. That's okay. So what made me leave was, so I'm from England, right? And England is a very
I said it's crazy it spread that far.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The wards are very small and stuff, which is yeah, it's pretty mad. But yeah, like, you know, like none of my friends in school, like primary school, from like really like when you're a young kid, and into secondary school, like no one went to church. And like when I was like 5, I remember being like, oh, all my friends are gonna be in eternal darkness, and I can't do anything about it. And I felt so guilty as a kid that I couldn't help them. And it's just like, that's so mental. And, you know, I tried like, yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. And it's just, that's, and that's, you know, what makes me think that religion is evil, you know. And it's with the Mormon church, like from my experience, like some of these people are the most bitter people you'll ever meet in your life.
You need to believe
I-
in Jesus so you can have the joy of the Lord like me.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And it's like, you see like how these missionaries are, and it's like, I feel really bad for them now, like as an adult.
Yeah, it's sad.
And it is really sad, man. And like, I've met so many of them, and like, they're really kind people, like, but they just don't know. And I feel like, especially like when I've met ones that are from the States, especially like the ones that are from Utah, they are so like indoctrinated that it is brainwashing, man. And I feel so bad because some of them are so nice, and then like, you know, they literally just get married as soon as they get back, and it's just like, it just blows my mind. Like, there's so many girls that I knew that like went to uni and did all this really cool stuff, but the sole thing they wanted to do was to be a stay-at-home mom and have like 6 kids. And it's like, man, like, there's so much more that you could be doing. And it's like, luckily enough for me, my current girlfriend is she's an ex-Mormon as well, which is really funny. Like, I knew her
That's
for a
kinda
really long
perfect,
time.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah,
Like,
it worked out really
you have
well.
that in common. It's shared. Yeah.
Yeah, so like we kind of like trauma dump on each other, like with all this shit.
That's got to be
And
really
you know, like,
cathartic. That's nice.
yeah,
For you.
it's good. And it's, you know, with me, like, I come from a multicultural household, and so does she. Like, my dad is from the Caribbean and her dad is from Ghana in Africa, and it's like we both never fit like the Mormon cookie cutter that they wanted, you know. Like with like, you see Mormon men, and they're all like clean shaven, this that and the other, like really short hair, like short back and side look, like they all just look like kids.
So
And then with the women, they all wear. Well, they do. Mormons just look like children, and it's like.
so
And it's like with
Ruffin,
the women, they're all wearing like these skirts that like go all the way down to their ankles, and it's just so mad. But it's shit like that that made me leave because that
You're like,
isn't
the
what I
skirts need
wanted
to be
to
shorter.
be.
I'm getting out of here.
so
Yeah, it's
so
ridiculous, man.
question I have. So I live in Idaho, so I also live in Mormon
Yeah,
Central. I'm a few
yeah, yeah.
hours north of Salt Lake. But I'm not Mormon. I was married to a Mormon for 8 years.
Oh
And
wow.
surprise, surprise, we got divorced because I wasn't gonna. When we first started dating, like I'm an atheist. I'm not
Was
converting.
she heavily in it?
So she is from pioneer stock. Her her 3-time great grandmother was Mary Elizabeth Rollins. So if you know the story of Mary Elizabeth and Caroline Rollins,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So for those who don't know, the book that is now known as the Doctrine and Covenants was nearly destroyed, nearly eradicated. But these two girls grabbed the only existing manuscripts and hid in a cornfield. And one
Yeah.
of them is my ex-wife's great grandma. Um,
Wow, that's
but
insane.
yeah, but when I doubled down, because next thing I started noticing was like she was inviting the missionaries to dinner. And you know, and anybody here who's Mormon or been Mormon, you know the only time the missionaries get invited over to dinner is when they're trying to convert somebody. And I
Yeah.
remember looking around the table being like, I'm the only non-Mormon here. I'm the one they're trying to convert.
Are they looking at you and
Um,
they're like, so what's your favorite scripture?
Well, that's a question that yeah, but that's a question that I was going to ask you because it sounds like you're black, correct?
I'm mixed race. So I'm what was it they say now? Like I'm white passing because my dad's light skinned. So
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But my question is like, how did you parse out, knowing your heritage and your ancestry? How did you parse out the racist verses found in like the Book of Moses where it talks about Cain,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Nephi?
Okay, so it's weird. So it's like this is the thing with Mormons. It's like they love to pick and choose what's doctrine and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like every.
You know, like it's such a meme now. Like good because they're like, oh yeah, it's forever changing. Like now you can get with your garments, you can now wear a vest as a woman. You can now have your shoulders exposed because they're moving with the times. And it's like, you know, like I was speaking to my girlfriend about this, and she said to me that the only reason why black people are allowed to now hold the priesthood is because the missionaries went to an island is somewhere like in a like around Australia or something, and everyone there was Samoan, and so they didn't have a choice to basically let people who have the mark of Cain hold the priesthood if they wanted to continue to convert these
That's
people.
like also racist though. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And my girlfriend's dad,
it's like,
dad is
racism. Wait, I got a solution for this. More racist.
yeah. Well, it's like I talked to my dad about it, and you know he was always like, you know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of guy. I think he was just more in it for like my mum at the time, but they're not together now. And like I talked to him about it now, and he's like, how can any person of color be involved in something like that? He was like, how can anyone be like that when it's literally, it is by fact that these scriptures are so racist. And it like, you know, like Mormons, there's another thing, like Mormons believe that the like black people were, you know, the people that didn't really know if they wanted to come to Earth or not. And so it's just like, it's just so fucking stupid. It's just unreal.
So with that there, because that's important in Mormon theology. The belief is that before anybody came to Earth, God was like, "Hey, I'm going to go create this Earth for you. However,
Yeah.
nothing that's unclean can be in my presence." And so I need a way for you guys to come back to heaven. And essentially, they teach that Jesus and Lucifer or Satan are actual brothers. And so Satan stood up and said, listen, I'll go down there and I will force them to follow your rules. And you won't lose
dude. And you know what?
single
I was
one of
in
them.
church and I said, I remember saying as a kid, it'd be like, well, why didn't we let that happen?
Yeah,
And I was like,
right?
that's great. I was like 4 maybe, and I was like, I'd love that.
Yeah,
And I was like,
but
all my
Satan-
friends would be here with me. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
But Satan was going to force us to follow God's law. And then Jesus got up and said, hold on. Send me. They can have their free will, and I will just suffer for them. I'll atone for them. I'll sacrifice myself for them. And so if they believe on me, then they can come back up. And essentially, we either said yes or no if we wanted to come down or not.
It's just so wishy-washy, man. Like they
Yeah.
love just to pick and choose. Like I said, like what's doctrine and what's not.
Yeah, especially when like we can't even know that it's the case. You can't demonstrate it to be true. So if you can't demonstrate it to be true,
Exactly.
then there's a whole demographic of rational people that won't believe in the paradigm at all, and thus can't make a decision.
Listen,
Exactly,
I'm not
but-
saying
Go
anything
on.
about him real quick, but these are people who believe that a language called Reformed Egyptian exists.
I know.
Guys, this
And
is,
like the Nephites and the Lamanites were the what was it? The Lamanites were the Native Americans, I think.
Yeah.
And they're originally
let me-
Jews.
Right. Well, let me read this because this is some of the racist tropes here. So in 2 Nephi chapter 5, verse 21, and he had caused a curse to come upon them, yea, even a sore cursing because of their iniquity. This is talking about who would become the Lamanites. Behold, they had hardened their hearts against him, that they had become, that they had become unto like flint, whereas they were white and exceedingly fair and delightsome, that they may not be enticing. So, like, they get cursed with, like, the skin of blackness. And then,
And
like,
they're
if you,
ugly.
yeah, then if you go, like, to Alma 3, like, it gets worse as you go. And the skin of the Lamanites was dark, according to the mark which was set upon their fathers, which was a curse upon them because of their transgression. And then it goes, and this was done that their seed might be distinguished from the seed of their brethren. So it's getting passed to their children, that thereby the Lord might preserve his people, that they might not mix and believe in incorrect. So we're going to give you different colored skin so that the white people know to stay away from those people. Like,
It's literally like the first thing. Like they're basically saying, "Do not crossbreed." That's literally what they're saying.
Oh my god, that's so true. What the fuck?
That's literally what they're saying. They were like, "Oh, keep it pure." And I tried commenting when there was a guy who brought up the caste system, right? Did you look up what? I don't know if you looked up what that was. The caste system.
I didn't.
yeah.
I didn't.
So it's literally like racial purity.
Okay.
That's all it is, and it was mainly used in like the Indian slave trade, like in India, and it was that system was I think put on India by Pakistan like way back in day. I might be wrong, and that's why you hear terms like half caste and stuff like that, and it basically means like if you were seen as half caste, you were seen as half pure.
This is reminding me of Harry Potter with the pure blood and the mud blood shit.
It basically is that. It basically is that.
Yeah.
It's the same type of slur. It's very bizarre. Like my dad, I remember asking my dad if he was half caste or not, and he like got really fucking angry.
Yeah, I bet.
But I didn't know. I had no idea. I had a teacher ask me.
Guys, I'm gonna.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm gonna end the live. It's 2:43 a.m. I really appreciate you coming up here. This stupid thing came up. Bailey, thank you for coming up here. This is really fun. I got to laugh a lot. Cyber left before I could tell everybody to follow him, but look him up, Cyber Deconstruction. He used to go live a lot. I don't know if he'll start up again at some point. He was starting to, but you can find him on panels all over the place, and he frequents over here a lot too. So you guys can make sure that you're following Cyber. Thank you for coming up, Bailey. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
I didn't mean to cut you off there, Bailey. Sorry, man. I had my finger on the button. So we'll do a raid. I think the restriction that I got earlier kind of nerfed the viewership anyway. But for the looks like what 40 of you who are over here, let's all go to Yoti. We're gonna raid Yoti, Y-O-T-I. And also, if you're following Tiny Science or Tiny Smalls, I can't remember what his official profile is called. But if you're following him, he's over there too. He's all about the panel. So you guys get a double whammy, Yoti and Tiny Science. So anyway, let's go over here to Yoti, and I will see you guys tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow.
It's a Yachty! Hey, 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 hey! Yachty, 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 yachty! It's a Yachty! Yachty, 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 yachty! It's a Yachty! Bitch!
Alright, good night.